Oh, hello, we're live. Hello, Instagram. Um, I'm here a minute early today. Oh, as we get started, I'll just share that before popping in, I was taking a look at my Facebook feed, and hey, Tori, and man, there's nothing to really ratchet up your morning anxiety like looking at social media, you know? Oh, yay, hi Sparrow, hi Ren. Um, so I may make a little policy. Sarah Rinaldi, hello. This is morning, hey Lindsay, this is morning grounding and connection. I'm just waiting for folks to filter in on the Instagram and on the Facebook, and sharing that even though we're here together on social media, man, social media creates a lot of anxiety for me right now. Like I noticed I was actually feeling pretty grounded, and as I was reading the Facebook, hey Anjali, I just like my chest got super constricted and it was rough. So before we dive into the poetry, a couple of things that are available to folks. One is I'm hosting a breathwork and healing circle next Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. I'll drop a link into the comments, or just go to storyandspirit.org /events and you'll see everything there. Hey, Christina. What else? There's a men's group coming up on April 12th. And if anybody is interested in exploring, just in general, exploring as a word, we can do that. Exploring shamanic journeying, my partner Julia is hosting a group on Wednesday evenings. If you've never done that before, it's a really beautiful way to access different ways of knowing and guidance. So if you're interested in that, I guess just send me a direct message and I'll put you in touch with her. Okay, here we go. A poem for our morning from our friend Hafez. A poem every day. And today is April 2nd, and today's poem is In the Midnight of Thy Tresses. Who can fully renounce a day? Who can conceive of forgiving a whole life, granting all in it a pardon? Let's just start that again. I don't actually know what these words are going to be. Who can fully renounce a day? Who can conceive of forgiving a whole life, granting all in it a pardon? Unless at midnight you let us enter your tresses, know your scent, become as intimate with your light as anyone ever has. All images are shadows you did cast. They will gladly surrender their identity and reveal their potential the way a piece of paper would if it ever made love to a great flame. So I guess the you here could be the divine or the universe. And as I read that, I just felt a deep click of remembrance that when we truly surrender to something greater than ourselves, then we can access kind of a deeper level of truth and safety in the world. Hey, Shama, we're doing grounding and connection. The idea that there's something true that gets revealed when we're burned, when something in us is transformed through fire. And it feels like we're kind of going through a collective moment like that right now, doesn't it? Like that we're all kind of collectively being set to the fire in different ways. You know, whether it's in connection with the kind of collective moment, hey Jenna, it's good to see you too, or whether it's through a direct experience of job loss or illness ourselves or people we know becoming very ill or even passing away. These are the moments where the kind of true nature can be revealed. And it's a lot to hold. It's a lot to sit with. And as I say that, I'm just kind of feeling the edges of it lapping against me, like just like a gentle current washing in and out. And it's really big. So in the meditation this morning, let's explore that idea of what becomes possible when we surrender to the moment. And perhaps by cultivating that possibility within ourselves, we can share it more broadly. Yeah. So let's get started. If you're walking, Tori, keep walking and don't close your eyes while you do that. For those of you who are indoors and not walking or driving, just sit in a way that feels comfortable to you. And you can close your eyes if that feels right. If not, you can just kind of soft focus down towards the ground. And I'll invite us just to bring some awareness to the breath. Being very aware as you inhale that this is you inhaling. And very aware as you exhale that this is you exhaling in this moment. And as we bring awareness to the breath, you can consciously elongate a little bit, like really enjoying and luxuriating in the sense of the inhale and the expansion. And maybe elongating the exhale a little bit and enjoying that sense of release on the exhale. And just everybody take a nice deep breath in. And release with a gentle sigh. Great. And with that, we'll just invite ourselves a little bit more into our bodies. So we can allow gravity to work a little bit more, and we can imagine even surrendering to that gravity that wants nothing more than to pull us into deeper connection with the earth. So we can play with surrendering to that connection by allowing our weight to settle more onto the seat. Allowing your shoulders to drop, which may mean surrendering a little bit of tension you've been holding. Allowing yourself to feel the weight of your head atop your shoulders. And as we play with this, just inviting in the awareness that the more of our weight we give up to the earth, the more of it we allow ourselves to feel, then the more support the earth can send up to us. Good. And with a gentle awareness, just starting at the very tippy top of your head, right above the crown, you can start a gentle, compassionate scan of your body. So with your attention, gently working your way down through the muscles of your forehead and your eyeballs, noticing any places that feel open and alive and surrendered, and places that may feel tense or clenched, like they're holding on. And working your way down through the sinuses and the jaw, and we don't need to change anything. We're just noticing, getting almost like a 3D scan of our bodies this morning. Working your way down through the throat and the chest, the solar plexus, the belly, the hips, the thighs, calves, all the way down to the bottom of your feet. And see, just for a moment, if you can feel the sensation of the air against your skin. Feeling that border that separates your body from the world around you. Good, and everybody just take a nice deep breath in. And release it with a sigh. And now see if you can connect with just one place, maybe just a small place in your body that feels like it may want to release, that it has something to let go of, something to surrender. And when you have a connection with that place, and it may shift a little bit. Just see if you can allow your attention really gently to focus on that spot. Right, so for me, it's this little spot right here on my head, right on my forehead. And as you focus on it, just see if there are any colors or images that come to you. Any textures. And if this gets to feel a little bit too intense for this moment, you can always just back off and take a few deep breaths. Maybe find some place in your body that feels really open and already fully alive and flowing. But for the rest of us, or now for me at least, bringing my attention back to that place that feels a little bit tense and like it wants to let go. And just silently, we can ask this space a question, and that question is, what do you need to feel safe? What do you need to feel safe? And just see what comes back to you. It may be something really simple. So for me, the message I'm getting back is a deep breath. And as I do that, I feel it release a little bit. So for you, for this small place in you that may want to let go, what does it need to feel safe so that it can surrender its tension? And to get an even more direct guidance, we can ask, what is one small, actionable thing that I can do to help you feel safe so that you can surrender? What is one small, actionable step I can take to help you feel safe so that you can surrender? And if you're able to honor, if you get an answer back and are able to honor that request in this moment, you can go ahead and do it. And as you work with this, and this place in your body starts to release, you may experience emotion. You may feel a gentle opening. And if it feels safe to you, you can breathe into that. And now, let's try an experiment. We're just holding the pain's not quite the right word, but the distress or the tension or the grief of the world. Right? We don't have to step into it, but just seeing if we can expand our awareness to encompass it. And it's big, and your awareness is up to the task. And speaking directly not to the world, but to the grief or distress at the center, we can ask, what is one small, actionable step I can take to make you, this grief or distress of the world, feel safe and feel comforted? And as an experiment, see if anything comes back to you. So we're connecting as a practice with the grief or distress at the center of the world right now, and asking, what is one small, actionable step I can take to make you feel safe and whole so that you can release? Good. And I'm going to gently guide us back to the breath. Just being very aware as you inhale that this is you inhaling. And very aware as you exhale that this is you exhaling in your body. And just all together take a nice deep breath in. And release. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. That was a really interesting experience. As always, I have no idea where these little paths are going to take us, but I'll just share that my experience of that was really very gentle, and it could have been big, but it just felt like that what at least I was being asked to do was to simply be gentle, to be soft with myself and others in a way that cultivates a sense of safety both in my own body and externally. So let's take that question, how can I explore and deepen a sense of safety for myself and others, and we will ask it to the Archetype deck. You're welcome, Jenna. That was a lovely one, and this is the Wild Unknown Archetype deck by, pick a card, any card, by Kim Krantz. And the question we'll ask is, how can I cultivate a greater and deeper sense of safety within myself and share it with others? And this is the, setting aside, I'm going to set aside cards that we've already worked with. Sorry, deck. Just to see what's possible. I feel like this will become impossible as we go on, but how can I cultivate a greater sense of safety? This is yet literally yesterday's card. It's the Father. All right, we're going to go with the first one that came up, which is our friend, the Mentor. The Mentor. So, if you haven't played with these before, the way archetypes work is they're just universal energies or entities, however you want to think of it, that exist in the collective unconscious around us all the time, And so when one comes up, it's an opportunity to explore that energy that gives us access to something more universal. So it's not like predictive. It's more just an opportunity to reflect. And today, in answer to that question around safety, the Mentor came up. And the Mentor is the teacher, the sage, the guru. It's said that cosmic knowledge pours down on the world like a great illuminated waterfall. This can be an overwhelming force. The true teacher, though, is said to be able to hold this flow of wisdom at bay while the student sips from a focused stream. The Mentor archetype has a gift for reading the room, for sensing the exact ingredient that will stimulate growth within the student, whether pleasant or painful. The Mentor may appear aloof or available, harsh or tender, humorous or rigid. Their gift is to know what serves the soul. Ultimately, the Mentor is in service of the greater cosmic good and aids in the elevation of consciousness. Anytime the Mentor forgets this humble link and mistakes themselves for the source of enlightenment, the archetype falls into shadow. When light, focused, clear, bright, remains a student. Keep in mind how easy it is to project power onto another. The expressions feet of clay and cult of personality exist for a reason. I love this when it comes to safety. I think it's a beautiful reminder to remember that in this moment especially, because nothing is known, we're all students. And by surrendering to that sense of not knowing, and that sense of we're all studying our own reactions to this moment, we're all studying the way the world is reconfiguring itself in very real ways, that the more we do that, the more we surrender to that sense of being a student, to the mentor that is this moment, that is, there's a big, beautiful tree outside that's blossoming with bees on it. How can that be my mentor today? How can I kind of apprentice myself to all of the lessons just in that, to the plant? This is Eddie, by the way, the plant. How can I apprentice myself to Eddie? So maybe the invitation for all of us is, where can we find opportunities to be students and to surrender the illusion of knowledge, the illusion of knowing, and see what becomes possible when we break ourselves open, or allow ourselves to break open to the possibilities of new ways of knowing and new knowledge. So we'll leave it there for today. I'm here every morning at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, doing sharing a poem and a little meditation, and then an archetype reading for grounding and connection. During these times, it can just be, I'm finding it really powerful to have this as just like a fence post in my day to provide a little bit of structure and connection. So thanks so much for joining me. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.